Grizzlies fans, welcome back into another Grizz Game Day update. Tonight, the Grizzlies are in Orlando taking on the Magic. So joining us to talk about this one, Kendra Douglas. We saw Kendra at the end-ish of January.
Yeah.
Very close game. These two teams ended up with 107-106, and we'll dive into who played well in that game a little bit, but I wanted to bring it up simply because when you look at Orlando's schedule, the last three games have all been against Western Conference teams vying for playoff spots, and they've all come down to very, very close endings, last minute endings. I know it's been probably stressful for you, and bringing up another Grizzlies game might be another one of these. But Kendra, what have you seen from the team despite those three losses in a row? What have you seen fight-wise for them, and what can we expect coming into tonight?
I think what you see fight wise is that they're still very good when they come back out of the half. They're still a very good third quarter team and a good fourth quarter team, but it's just the beginning. And one thing that Paolo said after last night's loss was that we have to start strong. And so I think that that's what you're going to really try to continue to see with these guys is them trying to get off to a great start in the first half. That way they're not having to play catch up. They're not having to do, just try to get things together. I think turnovers hurt them really bad as well. And so that's one thing that they're going to have to try to really work on is just taking care of the ball. That's one thing Coach Mosley says, take care of the ball. So the little meaningless turnovers that have hurt this team, they're really going to have to clean that up going into tonight's game and hopefully just bounce back. I mean, it was such a tough loss. We were watching it. You're like, we had the lead twice within the fourth, and you're like, all right, this team's gonna put it away, and they just couldn't. So hopefully, we'll see a different team that has a stronger start. That way, when it comes to the third and the fourth quarter, they're just finishing strong against Memphis.
Yeah, that's something I should have mentioned. This is the second half of a back-to-back for this Orlando Magic team. It was a loss to the Clippers last night. Again, one of those like last second things. And it's interesting to hear you talk about the start of the games for Orlando because it's quite similar for the Memphis Grizzlies. In the second half, like we're constantly finding ways to like claw ourselves back into it. So I'd say a key for both teams today is to have a strong start. But I think before we even dive into what these two teams do well, what they need to improve on, is injury updates because there are some big ones on both sides. I'll start on my end, Kendra. Tonight, Desmond Bane, although he is back, is not playing tonight. So tonight he will be out, as well as Vince Williams Jr. Santel Dama and John Contra are both doubtful, but Luke is back. He had his baby, so he's back. Luke, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Gigi Jackson will be our main guys tonight. And then there is a couple injuries on your side, too, from guys that we won't see tonight either.
So Gary Harris, he will be out. He is on, I believe, injury maintenance for his right plantar fascia. And then Jonathan Isaac, he is out as well, also injury maintenance. And those are two guys that have continued to really help out with this team. And it's been amazing to see Jonathan Isaac on the court this season, just super healthy and having to miss a game. So it's a big blow to not have him tonight. And then Gary Harris, he's started the last couple of games, a lot of last games, and he's done very well for this team. So those are the two that we will not have in tonight's game.
Yeah, and those two are big as well. Like we were talking before we pressed record about Orlando's defense, still a top two defense in the entire league. You're going up against the Grizzlies, really hang their hats on the defensive end too. They're at the 11th mark, so not even top 10. This Orlando team is 2. So neither team is very high scoring. They're both in bottom 5 in scoring in the league. But how does Orlando separate themselves when it comes to their defense?
One guy, Jalen Suggs. I think when you look at Jalen and just how much he is all over the floor, he really sets the tone defensively for this team. And I think he does a very good job at just being everywhere for them. He just, I mean, he's one of those guys where this year he's taken that next level defensively. And I think it's made drastic changes for this team because it has allowed everyone else to also fight a little harder as well. And one thing that Coach Mosley has really just honed in on is the defense. That's their bread and butter. That's literally what makes them tick. So yes, we do need to be better at shooting and shot selection and free throws. But one thing that's going well for us is our defense. And so I think coming off that loss, one thing that they're going to really work hard on is really be strong on defense immediately right off the bat. I feel like that's what you should be expecting from this team. And then hopefully that will just carry and travel through that third and the fourth quarter to get a win tonight at the Kia Center. But I mean, when you look at this team and how it's built defensively, I think it literally starts with Jalen Suggs and then goes from there. He's just so dominant on defense.
Yeah, it very much is reminiscent of how Grizzlies fans, or this side, talks about Jaren Jackson Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive, or like the reigning defensive player of the year, has just been such an anchor for this team on the defensive end, but offensively as well, averaging 23 points per game. He's going to be someone that Orlando Magic fans are going to have to look out for.
Yeah.
He would be my like one guy if we're like, hey, pick one guy who I think is going to be, leading for us. It would be JJ. You have a lot more to choose from. Paolo, Wendell Carter. I know Franz played really well against the Grizzlies last time. He had 18. Who's like the one guy Grizzlies defense needs to hone in on tonight?
You know, it's interesting. I think it's actually going to be Paolo. And the reason why is because Paolo, whenever he has a really rough game, he has an insane bounce back game.
Okay.
And I think last night he said he's not been playing well and he needs to turn it around. And I really think that he could turn it around tonight and really dominate and be that person that no matter if you have 3-4 people on him, he is going to find a way. Not 4, but Olivia is
People is a little crazy.
Yeah. But he is going to find a way to get his shot in. So I think that's one person that I would say would love to have a bounce back game tonight, especially since we only have one more game here in Orlando before we get on the road, and then we play New Orleans again, and then we play Charlotte. So I feel like if we can get this one to just lead us into Portland on Monday, that would be a great game. So I would say Paolo. I think Jalen Suggs could too. But if we're also talking off the bench, Cole Anthony has been insane. He had a little bit of a slump, and he just has come out dominating. And so that is also one person coming off the bench that I would look out for, especially since we don't have JI tonight too. Cole Anthony. So yeah, actually, rewind this. Cole Anthony is the guy I think that you should look out for tonight. He's just been so on cue with everything lately and doing very well off the bench.
All right, I'll throw a guy off the bench too, just so we keep it even. I'm gonna go GG Jackson. Having just an incredible season. I know you guys didn't really get a chance to see a whole lot of him when we played you back in January, but he'll play a big part in that defense, or excuse me, off the bench defense and off the bench offense as well. I think I'm ready. I'm excited for this one. This one is a little bit earlier. It is a 6 p.m. tip Central Time.
Yes.
p.m. Eastern Time. Kendra, thank you so very much. And may the best team win today.
Yes. Thank you for having me always.